Now, this is one of the reasons why I like the Championship, is because here I am sat in the home dugout at New York Stadium. There's the stadium. That's the view from the dugout. The interesting thing about the New York Stadium as well, by the way, you'll want to know the score, won't you? Is that the technical area, which is just here, they are miles apart from each other. You'll know at some places they're quite close, but they are literally miles apart. You see that? It's over there. The fourth official's there, and he's got about 50 metres either side of him. So he probably, or she, has a great time of it here. Loves coming to New York Stadium because everyone's very far away. Hello, anyway, welcome to New York Stadium. Sorry, I suppose is the first thing, because this is the second one of these. I did do one at Southampton, didn't I? Yes, it's the second one of these I've done, and it's a defeat. So you can all blame me. I've already made that joke on Hot Takes as well, which I have done as well. As I would have said weeks ago, my job is a little bit different this season. I won't be at so many games, but I will be at some. And when I am, and if it works, and if I remember how to do them, I will be doing video verdicts and maybe hot takes if I can. And obviously the dynamic of that will be slightly different as well, because ultimately I can't go into real in depth in just one game because I'll have missed lots of games, and so you're kind of summing stuff up. Rest assured, I am watching all the action and trying to make sure that I'm kind of on top of what things look like and what's been going on. It's obviously been a very busy time, so let me rattle through it. In terms of the game today, I've seen enough of Norwich to know that first half is not how they've been playing. I did double check who'd played in midweek, because certainly as things got on, they seemed in halfway through the first half, they were making silly errors. They were passing the ball out of play, just unnecessary issues. And it looked like they'd had a really long week of it, but only, I think it was 3 players actually started today that started in midweek. So there's no real tiredness issue there. It was a refreshed team. What it was, I think, and David Wagner said it afterwards, like not a complacency, but just a drop in levels. And I think you've seen that actually, even though it's been a really good run, the moments where Norwich have seen their levels drop in intensity and aggression, 2 things that they've been really, really impressive in their better moments, and there have been quite a few of those since the start of the season. When that's gone, they can be quite easy to play through, and they do kind of give up opportunities. Now, I'm also a big believer, and having watched it, that especially with the Huddersfield result, which is obviously a phenomenal game, the timing of the goals makes a massive difference in that game, especially the one at the start of the second half, because it kills off any possible Huddersfield resurgence. Getting 2-0 up, regardless of what your plan is for the game, if you find yourself 2-0 up after 20 minutes, you're pretty much there. And I think what we had today was an opening goal that was a wonderful strike. Angus Gunn didn't even move for it, but that really does set a tempo from a game that was pretty even. And I thought Norwich were still countering relatively dangerously without really utilising players in the right way. Christian Fastnacht was completely anonymous in the first half, and Norwich were noticeably better in the second half when they kind of moved him into a more central channel. Even though they were still playing a 4-4-2, he was in a much sort of right half space and almost playing alongside Adam Eder up top with Ashley Barnes dropping behind them, and that offered a really more dynamic threat in on goal. And it's a shame he went off, but it kind of, I think, there wasn't really any right or wrong. How am I trying to say? There wasn't any issue with any of the substitutions, because I think David Wagner needed to change it and to freshen it up. And I thought Norwich's level was dropping well before he actually made those changes. That momentum that they got from getting a goal back just after half time, Norwich were 2-0 down at half time. Just after half time, that momentum they got a goal back, that had then dwindled. And actually, Rotherham did a good job of sort of diffusing that. Bear in mind, this is a Rotherham team that haven't won a game all season. You could say that makes them rubbish. You could also say that they were pretty desperate to cash in today, and they played quite well actually. I thought they weren't bad in that regard. I thought they gave Norwich some opportunities, but that's it takes 2 to tango, and I thought they worked hard, and the noise in here at the final whistle said how much it meant to the supporters here, so you can't really argue with that. The fact that Rotherham were 2-0 up came from a Jordan Hugill diving header, which he enjoyed, and fair play to him for that. And that, I think, that 2-goal advantage, obviously it's a worldie of a first goal, then to get 2-0 up, that's just left Norwich with too much to do. And those goals made that very difficult for Norwich to get back into it. That said, when they did put a goal back immediately, or 5 minutes into the second half, which Fastenacht got after some good work, I think, from Johnny Rowe, who seemed to go off with cramp. Hopefully that's not too bad because he's got a England under-20s call up. So, but yeah, I just thought despite I thought that Norwich would get like a second goal and then maybe go on and win it. Rotherham did a really good job of killing the momentum, and although Norwich got in some good areas, I really agreed with what Angus Gunn said, which is they kind of chased the game and forced the game too much, and they weren't really patient enough to make the best of the opportunities and the spaces they were getting. So that kind of cost them, really. But I think this is a really useful experience because it probably does put things into a bit of context, which is difficult so early in the season. Look at the results today; they were mental all over the place. Big, promotion favourites losing games at home. Some real surprises all over the place. That's going to happen. It will all close up. It's fine. You are going to lose 10 games most seasons, even if you finish in the top 2 generally. So, and I'm not predicting that for Norwich, by the way, but I'm just saying that they're the things that happen. So, you take it for what it is. These results happen all over the place. I did think it highlighted the lack of real depth of quality in Norwich's squad. Yes, you can bring on players like Tony Springett and Liam Gibbs, who actually I thought did some really good things when he came on. But there is a quality level, and it would take a misfortune in certain areas, and the quality of Norwich's team would diminish. So they are in that kind of position that they need to keep key players fit. One of those key players, I think, is Josh Sargent. He's made a brilliant start to the season, and I'm absolutely gutted for him that he's now out injured, because the way he was carrying the ball and the goal threat and the things he was doing this season and the role he was being given, I thought he had a wonderful opportunity to really stamp his authority all over the team. What we know now is he's going to have surgery on his ankle on Monday, and he'll be out until January, most likely, which is obviously really disappointing. But that's then further context. The further context being that Norwich brought in 2 players on deadline day. Neither of them were registered in time to feature today, but they will eventually. People like Stuart Webber and Angus Gunn know Danny Bart from Wolves and Stoke, by all accounts. Veteran, great character. Veteran, he's 31, so I won't do him too much of a disservice there. But made a big impact at Sunderland last season, by all accounts. Great character. So they're all good boxes to tick. I do think it's a shame that, Norwich's 4 centre-backs are pretty experienced, and they've sold their young, promising, long-term contracted Irish international centre-back for 11 million quid. That may well go up, but I think it does underline the fact that Norwich needed the money, that they have sold him for that when they weren't under a huge... They wouldn't have sold him. They wouldn't have sold any other players for that a few years ago. So that is obviously a line in terms of where Norwich are with their finances, but hopefully that then allows them to stabilise, bit of stability around things, and then maybe come January, if they need someone, they can do that bit of business as well. Good luck to Andrew, because he's a great kid, and it's a great opportunity to play in the Premier League. So I hope he gets the opportunity to show what he can do. And then we have Huang Hui-jo, I hope I've said that properly, who will be coming in from Forest. And interesting listening to David Wagner underline his profile and the qualities he can bring, because he is someone that they hope will do what Josh Sargent does while he is out, and then obviously come February they can all battle it out for being brilliant. But so yeah, those are options that will give Norwich a little bit more depth and strength, hopefully, to play with as the season rolls on. They've got some really interesting games coming up. They have had a decent enough start of it in terms of their fixtures. And we're still getting to know what the actual teams are capable of, as we could see from Southampton's result tonight. But also, you see what QPR have done, Hull. It is all over the place. So that's a part of the fun of the Championship. And as part of the fun of this season, we're all figuring it out. But what I will say is it was a total joy to be so close to the Norwich fans. 2,000 in excess of 2,000 of them here. The drum, the fantastic voice, the atmosphere from start to finish of that group of supporters directed at the players, that energy is lovely. That was so lovely to experience. Close at hand. I really hope that sustains. I hope it sustains through the supporters staying behind the players, and I hope it sustains by the players and coaching staff providing the right platform of a team for everyone to get behind, that is, you know, going to really give it everything they can. And if there may be deficiencies, that doesn't matter because they're doing what they can. I think those are things that will just keep that ticking on, and it will just kind of give everyone a sense that at least the club is in a better spot, and actually the expectations of whatever the season is, everyone's trying to achieve, are secondary to everyone enjoying following Norwich City Football Club and seeing some good positive performances, and watching really good humans play football really to the best of their ability and getting better and doing it for each other. Some people might call that happy clappy, but I think after maybe recent seasons, I don't know, do most Norwich fans sit there thinking, gosh, I'm desperate to get up to the Premier League? I don't know. Right, there we go. That's that note. Thank you for your watching and your patience. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. Go and enjoy yourselves. I think we are going to do an On The Ball podcast on Monday, by pure coincidence. Then we've got the international break, obviously. Good luck to all the internationals playing over that weekend. And yeah, be lucky. Look after yourselves. I'll take that down. No one wants to see that anymore. And have a lovely time. I'm out of practice of saying goodbye on these things. Enjoy the sun. Hopefully there'll still be some sun when we're back after the international break. Goodbye.